to me because I've never really focused on this. But when you start feeling worn out, the first thing to show up are your body symptoms of anxiety, and that's when it's time to start relaxing yourself. Because if we keep pushing, that's when the adrenaline kicks into overdrive. That's when we start second guessing ourselves, and our mind becomes fatigued, and that's when we start having anxiety and potentially panic attacks. Right. Anxiety is a byproduct of stress. So now we're going to get into talking about stress and how that can affect us. So when you're stressed, anxiety kicks into full gear, and you have a tough time handling the smallest things in life. The body symptoms of anxiety are your reaction to stress. The first signs of stress may bring on irritability, which may then lead to depression and overwhelm. Then you're no good to anybody. You're no good to your spouse, you're no good to yourself, you're no good to your kids, you're no good to your boss. Anxiety, unfortunately, brings on the symptoms that cause the stress response. Instead of letting your symptoms of anxiety scare you, when you start having these body symptoms, for example, we know some of the symptoms could be your heart starts to pound, you might get sweaty palms, you start feeling kind of spacey and bewildered. We've gone through these. Just a side note, if anyone's watching and they don't know what we're talking about now, we've covered this in previous podcasts. You can find them on the Facebook page, and our YouTube channel is probably the better source. So you could have a headache or you just feel tense. But what you need to do at this point is to stop and say, I've overdone it, I'm tired, I've had enough, I've pushed myself too hard. So instead of thinking it's because you didn't get enough done, this is where we're talking about the attitude adjustment in the list. Yeah. Start thinking the opposite. You need to relax, you need to go home, you need to get into a warm bath and be proud of yourself for what you did accomplish. You may also want to take a nap or read a book. Just do whatever you need to do to unwind and recharge. So obviously, when we look at that list, if we're not getting enough done, the fact that you think you have so much to do in a day, which was your expectation to begin with, that you thought you could get that much done, you created all that stress for yourself. Yeah. If you would just put less things on your list, and then when you get them done, you probably wouldn't have the anxiety to begin with.
I think this is probably like a Tony Robbins thing again, but high expectations of yourself, like instantly is like a resentment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because we may not ever meet those expectations because you know, for me, I put my expectations way up here, and if I don't meet that, then I beat myself up, right? Well,
right.
That's just unrealistic of me to put those. And it's not to say not to put expectations on yourself, just like lower your expectations a little bit because we're not God.
I think you said it though, you said realistic.
Yeah.
So instead of setting high expectations, set realistic expectations. You can't do as much as you think you can in a day a lot of the time.
And that's all right.
Like, that is okay.
Perfectly. We're only human.
Yeah.
I think we almost set ourselves up
for
that, right?
For disaster, for being pissed off at ourselves.
Yeah.
Which sucks, you know, and then you get at the end of the day and you say, oh, I only got 16 things done out of 20.
Right.
We don't ever say, wow, I got 16 things
done.
Yeah.
Or, holy shit, I did 10 things on my list that I got to cross off. I can actually do another 6. I have time for that.
Right.
Look at the change in how you feel about yourself just from that little thing. Yeah, it's all about the attitude. So maybe some of your ridiculous high expectations are making you anxious. But what? Ridiculous. But what is really making you anxious? It's you. Probably the fact that your expectations are related to the stress in your life. Don't underestimate the power of the other people in your life and their ability to help you if you need help. Don't be afraid to delegate. So if you have kids, if you have chores that need to be done, sure, they might not be done as perfect as you like them to be. Yeah. And we've already gone over the fact that we have perfectionistic qualities. So, I mean, your kids, it's a good thing for them to have chores and to learn that, you know, in life you have to work.
It's just about respecting yourself and your surroundings. And,
right.
You know what I mean? And
if you have a spouse or a significant other, I mean, just ask them for help. Again, it might not be done the way that you'd prefer, but at least they're making an effort, and it might give them a sense of accomplishment and make them happy. Right. You never know.
For sure.
You don't know unless you try. So start delegating if you're totally overwhelmed. Where are we here? So let go of the power and control, and that's a big thing too. So a lot of people don't want to delegate because they want to have control over everything, right? Well, you'll be a lot happier when you let go and realize
there's a little bit of surrender in that, and like that's like a freedom kind of feeling, right? When you can
let go,
relinquish some power, right?
Yeah, and just realize when you start realizing that it's okay, that the house doesn't necessarily need to be cleaned on a sunny day.
Right.
When you can start realizing that like right here, when I have these guys over for the podcast, this doesn't look perfect, but it's okay. I'm happy. I'm happy.
That's great.
Thanks, buddy. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's people that you're never going to have the perfect atmosphere, the perfect anything.
Right.
And the sooner that you stop trying to aim for perfection all the time.
To please other people.
To please other people. Yeah, exactly. Most of the time you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it because of the way you want other people to see you.
Yeah.
So, where are we here? You also have to learn to say no to other people's demands on your time. So this one's good for Scott,
terrible.
right?
Yeah.
You have to learn how to put yourself first. You have to learn how to get through the day's activities and eliminate some of the things that aren't really important.
Sorry.
You all right, buddy?
Yes.
Okay. It may help you to make daily lists and rank the tasks from most important to least important so that you can get the important stuff done first, and the rest can be pushed back to another day if need be, or even eliminating them altogether.
I just think that we don't need to put so much pressure on ourselves. I get that it's an instant gratification, and I'm guilty of it.
I am too, man. This is almost like I should probably listen to this.
Right. I just think we shouldn't put so much pressure on ourselves because we are only human. We can only do so much in a day, right? And
right.
Some days are good and some days are bad, and I think we get a lot more done on good days than bad days, right? But it's not about the amount of things we get done. It's about the quality of things. So if you can, for me, if I can get out of bed, that's quality.
Right.
For me, when I'm in a depressive state, if I can get out of bed, that's quality for me. It's not about doing 10 things. Go doing one thing half decent and not. Just stay in bed and, saying, wow, it's not worth it to get up.
And think about appointments. Think about if you really want other people to respect you and to care about you, instead of booking, 10 people in for appointments for the day, cut that in half and then just give them your time. Right? Yeah. So that you can actually give them quality time and you're not looking at your watch and you're not checking your appointment alerts on your phone.
Right? It's quality time with people, right?
I mean, you know what? It's just such a difference to make people feel important and to give them your time when you want to give them your time without crunching in everything to do in one day.
That makes probably, even in business-wise, that probably makes stronger relationships, you know?
It does, and you hear about people that only take meetings while they're walking to the next meeting and stuff like that.
Right.
These are billionaires we're talking about, right? But at the end of the day, same thing.
You look at family doctors or the doctor shortages now. You go into an office and you tell them what's wrong with you, and they're not listening.
A lot of the time,
it's hard to find someone if they cut down the amount of people that they saw instead of looking at
because they see 80 people a day and they're just what prescription do you need? What prescription
and actually sit and have a conversation and care.
Right. I agree. I think that it's just like anything else. I mean, there are doctors out there that are going to do that and focus on quality care, and then there's with any industry, the ones that are going to, you're just a cycle and a wheel and a paycheck to them. The same thing happens. You can't take your money to the grave with you. It's just...
It's worthless if you do.
Yeah.
It's just dirt.
Sure. And I understand. I mean, I myself am more focused on trying to be successful, to give more, to give back more.
Yeah.
So I don't think money's a bad thing if you look at it in the right way. Right. If you're looking at it from a selfish standpoint and a perspective of take, you're never gonna be happy.
No, that's exactly it. I think that's too with therapy too, right? For me, I struggled finding a therapist or a counselor for a long time, and because it just felt like a number. You know what I mean? They just write a prescription for whatever antidepressant, and then I finally found someone who, treated me like a human right off the hop. First interaction, I was super suicidal, and she said, "Well, how do I get you to come back next week?"
Yeah.
She took the addict and took the mental illness out of it, and just looked at me as a human being, and I think that's why I was successful as a client. Yeah, she didn't judge me at all, and she probably has less clients than 150 people, right? And I think she's very successful in that. She helped me.
How many did you go through before you found her?
66.
66.
Yeah. Well, she was 66.
She was 66. It went through 65.
Yeah.
See, this is a lesson too, because to be honest, I've gone through 3 or 4, and I gave up. I do it all through YouTube videos and I look at courses like this, and I learn myself. But this gives hope to people.
It was killing me, right? And at the same time, I was so resilient that I wasn't going to give up. I think I had a lot of people to prove wrong before I gave up, and that's why I just kept going, and it's changed. I don't have anyone to prove wrong now. I just have myself to prove right.
Right.
Counseling works, therapy works, whether that's 66, whether that's 6 counselors or 166. I was going to keep going until I found someone that would treat me like a human, and I think I'm very grateful that I found that.
Yeah.
And I think there's one out there for everyone, right? I think
Yeah.
there's a counselor out there. Even the ones that I, 1 through 65, they're probably good counselors for
But they
someone
didn't
else.
have a connection.
Right.
They just didn't. It just wasn't for me.
That's exactly it. I think you hit the nail right on the head. Is that it's just like any relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's never going to be a perfect relationship, and there's never going to be the perfect person. But you can find someone that's perfect for you,
Exactly.
like a perfect fit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like a puzzle piece, right? Like
Yeah.
a puzzle piece that just fits.
And I think that goes with psychiatrists because that relationship is important, or therapists, or whoever. Even in the fitness industry, or coaches, right? I mean, it's all about that connection.
Yeah.
Trust.
Yeah, and finding the person that's a good fit for you.
That's what Dr. Gabor Mate says is the cure to addiction is connection. I
think it's the cure to everything.
The cure to addiction is connection. Like just
Yep.
connecting with people, having healthy relationships, building with people, and not isolating yourselves. Because we do have gifts.
That's bad.
Like
Isolation.
Isolation's terrible for sure.
Yeah.
We all have gifts to give, right?
Yeah,
And like the only way we can give that is by connecting with other people.
yeah,
Like whether that's online, whether that's like in person, whether that's like through mail or whatever.
Right.
Just about connection, right? Good quality connection, and not being an asshole. I think really.
yeah. But that's not just for addiction. That's
No,
really
that's for life.
that
That's-
connection for happiness, for pretty much
As
everything.
humans, we need interaction, right?
Absolutely. And I think that if you're thinking about being happy at the end of the day, if you look at people that are sort of today in the mentality of take,
Yeah.
you also said something about you have a gift to give.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily about what you can get from this world and what you can take. It's about what you're here for to give.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's again with attitude and perspective and making that shift. And as soon as you can make that shift, you can really start to heal and become happy.
Like it's like being of maximum service to others, right? But at the same time, you got to be of maximum service to yourself. Like I find that, like it says, like this healthy balance with timing, right?
Yeah.
You gotta, as much time as we give other people, and I love that we have the ability to give that to other people. I think that we really lack on giving that time to ourselves, right? So that's a struggle for me, at least, is giving myself time to just be Paulie.
Yeah, and that's you're making a really good point because we're not here just to give.
Right.
You have to take care of yourself so that you can be the best giver.
Exactly. Yeah.
And find where you're most passionate about giving.
Yeah.
It's not just about giving to everyone that asks for it.
Right.
Like giving your time. I mean, we're talking about time here more than anything. But I mean, when people pull at your time, you have to decide who's really worthy of receiving your gift.
Right.
Right? And then focus on, okay, well, this person is just taking, this person really cares about me. What is their agenda, really, at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. You don't
Well,
want
that's
any
scary,
hidden
isn't
agendas, right?
Yeah.
In this day and age, yeah.
Yeah, it is
know what
scary
somebody's
because
agenda is.
people are kind of, like you said, instant gratification, take, swipe right rather than get to know anyone. It's a very shallow society we're creating.
Superficial for sure.
Yeah. So, and we'll talk more about that because we're going to talk about, Scotty and I talk about the bodybuilding industry from that standpoint lots.
Well, it's not superficial at all.
It's a very meaningful industry.
It's like Ron Burgundy. Hey everyone, look how good I look.
But again, there's people like yourself, and there's lots of people that are good, and there's people the same thing. Like everything, doctors, lawyers, bodybuilders, everything. There's always going to be people that are great and are there for a different purpose than the people that are taking.
For sure.
So, and maybe these people just need to take some of this and realize how to transform the way that they think and their attitude.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean they're bad people necessarily by any means.
So, lesson in life, of course.
It's all about lessons, man. If you're feeling stressed out and pressured, the only people we can blame for that are ourselves. If you're feeling overly stressed out, it's time to make some changes because that will eventually catch up to you. Stress is the leading cause of death in our country today.
I thought that is crazy. When you look at it, it's for sure.
Yeah, because you have to understand stress.
The chemical reactions that it causes.
Exactly. So it's not just about the feeling of stress. It's about everything connected to stress. Yeah. So it's the leading cause of death in our country. People are not dying of natural causes. They're dying of stress-induced disease. Stress is connected to heart disease, all types of cancer. It's related to stroke. It's related to diabetes. It all starts with being overly stressed. So stress less.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that we've already brought up. I mean, living in the moment, just breathing, taking a break, literally not overstressing yourself with the pressures on and carrying the world on your shoulders.
Yeah, your back gets sore.
Things.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.